Well, I just see this whole thing as a move by the shadow government of our country and the deep state, all of those who have vested interest in perpetual wars and things of that nature, trying to get rid of truth across the board so they can spin a narrative and manipulate the people of the country any way they want. Case in point is for example, the alleged visit by Manafort into see Julian. That, of course, is just a simple attempt at connecting Julian with the Trump campaign, and that in turn with an allegation of working with the Russians. And so my objective is to push like Julian does, try to push the truth out so that people in the country have at least some basis of making some reasonable decision based on knowledge of what's really going on, not this hidden agenda that the people are spewing out at them. It's like they're treating them like I call it like Pavlov's dogs, because they're just repeating things over and over again from many different directions and expecting everybody to believe it without challenging any of it. And that's really where I find the objective. Like, for example, the allegation that the DNC emails were hacked by somebody in Russia. Well, some of the people who are looking at the data now are finding what is called FAT32 format, which is file allocation table format. That's a format used to index data on a storage device, which means and implies that those data, that DNC data, was taken down onto a thumb drive or some other storage device that was attached to the computer. So, that's another fabrication that these people are putting forth. I would also argue that in some of the cases, like in the Manning case and in the case of Edward Snowden and others who are releasing classified information and publishing it, there's another regulation that people are also ignoring, and that's the Executive Order 13526, which covers all classification of material in the U.S. government. Section 1.7 of that says that you cannot classify, maintain classified, or not declassify material if it is evidence of a crime, fraud, waste, abuse, corruption, embarrassment to a person or an agency, and several other things. But the point is, a lot of the material that was published from Edward Snowden and also from Manning there were evidence of a crime. The Collateral Murder movie was a straightforward war crime. Those are crimes that people should be prosecuted for. And by those regulations that govern classification for the U.S. government, they must be declassified. Comment on the Mueller indictment that Rosenstein announced, of the GRU agents. He was indicting them spies for being spies, but he was using DC leaks and Lucifer 2 as the basic founding evidence to look at. Well, we could prove forensically that not only was the Lucifer 2 data not a hack that went across the Atlantic, we could prove that. We could also prove that he was manipulating the data and therefore fabricating the data. So he used Rosenstein and Mueller were using fabricated information to concoct an indictment, which is also a fabrication. And so, it's all this false, that's the way they're trying to manipulate evidence or create evidence to try to get rid of Trump or anybody Julian or anybody that's potentially disruptive to the deep state and the shadow government. They don't want the truth about anything out there. And so they're doing these kinds of fabrications. And this is the Department of Just Us operating, where it's Mueller, Comey, and all those McCabe and all those people were part of it.